Next, we're going to cover the process of submitting your dealer license application. Before we get started, I want you to be aware that the individual completing the application is answering truthfully all questions that apply to all owners of the business, not just the person that's completing the application. The person who completes and signs the application is representing all owners truthfully. Filing false statements of material fact on a dealer license application can lead to the denial of the initial application, possible suspension of the dealer license in the future, and may even lead to possible criminal charges. Be sure all the information you enter on the dealer license application is truthful and correct. A correct dealer license application will lead to much quicker dealer license approval by the board. Before you apply for your dealer license, you will need to gather up the following documentation. And by the way, we're going to cover several checklists in the back of your training manual at the end of the course. So you can just go down and check each document as you place those documents in the envelope that you're submitting to apply for your dealer license. And we'll cover that a little bit later on. You must submit the following documents when submitting your dealer license application. Obviously, your dealer application, which we're going to fill out here in just a moment. Form MV-6, which is a dealer tag application. Form MV-6A, if you're adding or deleting agents for your dealership. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. A copy of your Georgia business or occupational license for the city that you're operating in or the county that you're operating in. You've got to submit proof of publicly listed phone, which could be a phone bill, a photocopy of proof of Georgia tax ID number, photocopy, that's going to be that form ST2 Georgia sales tax certificate, photocopy of ID of each person appearing on the license. You're going to be submitting some photographs of the established place of business. Remember, that's the inside, outside, the signage, and also your lot. Check or money order made payable to the Department of Revenue. Your original signed surety bond and the power of attorney. Don't forget the signed surety bond and the surety bond power of attorney. Your certificate of insurance, and that's going to be what's called your original accord form. If you have any criminal history, then you have to submit those criminal affidavits as well. Fingerprint pre-registration at the approved GAPS service site. Your 4-hour dealer educational course certificate of completion that you'll get when you complete the training. Now, here you see the dealer application. And, we are going to spend a little bit of time on this process to ensure that you are completing it correctly. As I stated, a correctly completed dealer license application will lead to much quicker dealer license approval. I want to go ahead and magnify this so you can see it clearly, and you'll be completing an example also. You'll see a completed example as well in your dealer training manual. First, you're going to leave all that information in the upper right area blank, as this is going to be for board use only. As you see, they're going to enter the date and your receipt number and the date that you are issued a license. So be sure to leave that gray area at the top right of the dealer application blank. You will see the license fees here. I'm assuming you are submitting an initial application for licensure, so you would check that box, and as it states, that license fee is $170. If you're going to act as a motor vehicle broker, you would check the motor vehicle broker box. But remember, as I stated earlier, you must have a used motor vehicle dealer license to act as a motor vehicle broker. First, you're going to enter your trade name that you're doing business as, and that's going to be referred to as your DBA. That's the name that you're doing business as. You will then enter your federal employment identification number, which we call the FEI, or sometimes we call it the EIN. That's your tax ID number that we talked about that you get from the IRS. Now remember, as I stated a few moments ago, you want to obtain your employment identification number before you apply for your dealer license. So chronologically, you must apply for your employment number before you apply for your dealer license. And as I stated earlier, in the back of your dealer training manual that you're provided in your course, you will have that chronological checklist that shows what order to complete your steps in. And that's going to really streamline the entire process. So you have to do things after your course, you have to do things chronologically, and that will lead to much, much quicker dealer license approval. So I'll go over that list later. And I think you're going to find that chronological checklist in the back of the manual extremely helpful and will certainly help expedite your license approval. You're going to enter your name or whomever is the designee for the dealership. And this would be the person that's attending the dealer training course. Then you'll enter your home address, social security number, and date of birth. Then you enter your best mailing address, which may or may not be your home address. Okay, so just your best mailing address, your email address, and the physical location of your dealership. This cannot be a P.O. box. It has to be the physical address of your dealership. Next, enter your landline telephone at your dealership. And remember, this number cannot be a cell phone or a voice over internet protocol phone. That's that VoIP. Those are not allowed. It has to be a landline. Then enter an alternative phone number to be contacted for your lot inspection. This could be, say, for example, maybe your personal cell phone. Then check whether or not you are a military spouse or a transitioning member of the military. You must answer all these questions truthfully by the designee for the business. If the business is a sole proprietor, the questions must be answered by the business owner. First, let the board know if there's another business operating at the location. Then you must answer whether or not you have held a used motor vehicle dealer license in the past or ever held an interest in a used motor vehicle dealership, such as if you were a partial owner of a dealership. Then if so, provide the person's name and that licensure period. Then you are asked if the designee or anyone holds a financial interest in the dealership has ever had a dealer license revoked, suspended, or sanctioned by any board or agency in Georgia or any other state. Have you ever had a dealer license denied in Georgia or any other state in the past? If you answer yes, you will need to submit additional documentation explaining and identify the person that this applies to that's on the license. Then you're asked if the designee or anyone holding an ownership interest or a financial interest in the dealership has ever been arrested, convicted, or sentenced for a felony or a misdemeanor, including DUI and DWI. Has anyone pled guilty to a felony or misdemeanor, including DUI or DWI? If yes, you must include what is known as a certified court disposition, which can usually be obtained in the county of the case if you do not have a copy of that already. You're then going to check if you have completed your mandatory pre-license seminar. Remember, you got to take that 4-hour course before you can apply, and you will need to enclose the certificate of completion that you will receive at the end of the dealer training course. And finally, at the bottom of this page, have you pre-registered for your fingerprints, as we discussed a little bit earlier? Remember, you must register for your fingerprints, then apply for your dealer license. And when the board receives your license, you will be notified to report to your chosen fingerprint location. Remember that, okay? The next page contains ownership information. The business entity that you choose will determine what portion of this page that you'll complete. If you're a sole proprietor, then you will only enter information in the top box and leave the other 2 boxes blank. So if you're a sole proprietor, you just complete the information at the very top in the first box. If you're a corporation or a limited liability company, which we call an LLC, you will complete all the information in the second box only. You'll enter the legal name and the date of the corporation or an LLC that was filed with the Georgia Secretary of State, and then be sure to list the principal officers of the corporation or LLC. If you're going to operate your dealership as a partnership, you will leave the first 2 boxes of this page blank, and you will only enter the list of partners in the third box. So if you're a sole proprietor, you enter information in the first box. If you're a corporation or an LLC, you complete the second box. If you're a partnership, you will only complete the information in the third box on this page. Now, if you're going to operate your dealership, as a corporation or a limited liability company, that's that LLC, then you'll complete this corporation's affidavit. And as you see here, this document must be notarized. Or if you're a partnership, you will need to complete the partnership affidavit. If you're a sole proprietor, you would not complete either of these 2 affidavits. However, corporations and LLCs complete the corporation's affidavit, and partnerships would complete the partnership affidavit. Now, this is what's called the Secure and Verifiable Identity Document Act, okay? This requires applicants for licensure to submit an affidavit of citizenship and a secure and verifiable document regarding the United States citizenship status. So you are going to complete what is known as your verifiable document. You are swearing that all information on this application is true and that you understand the laws and regulations of the board must always be followed. You are also clarifying that if you submit false information or if you did not disclose any felonies, that the board may suspend your license without notification. So as I've said several times, you have to make sure all information on the dealer license application documentation is true and correct, not only for the designee that's entering information and signing the application, for all other persons on the license as well. You must also verify that you are a United States citizen or are a legal permanent resident of the United States. You must also confirm that you are at least 18 years of age and must submit what is known as your secure and verifiable document. So what is a secure and verifiable document? Well, this can be an unexpired driver's license or an unexpired state ID card, an unexpired U.S. passport. Notice how I keep saying unexpired. They want to make sure you don't submit anything that has an expiration date that's already passed. An unexpired military ID card, an unexpired tribal identification card, an unexpired U.S. permanent resident card or alien registration receipt card, or birth certificate, or any other documentation that is approved under OCGA 50-36-1F1. Did you get all that? And by the way, the OCGA stands for Official Code of Georgia Annotated, which is the most current Georgia state law. This form, as you see here, must also be notarized. Now I want to talk about this very important form, which is known as your zoning verification. You must have this form signed by the zoning commissioner for the area that you're opening your dealership in. I want to repeat that very important statement because this will take you a little bit of time to do this. You must have this form signed by the zoning commissioner for the area that you are opening your dealership. So you have to basically show the state that you are operating in a zone, in a location that is zoned correctly for a dealership. Now, the zoning commissioner, this might be a city zoning commissioner, or if your dealership's located in a city, or could possibly be a county zoning commissioner if your dealership is located in an unincorporated area of a county that's not in a city. You'll need to visit the zoning office in your city, which would probably be in your city hall, or your county, which will probably be in your county courthouse, and you will have to have this form signed. This form shows the board that the building that you're going to use for your dealership and where you'll have your dealer's license meets all local zoning requirements. Remember, you cannot have an area in a dealership that is not zoned for the operation of a dealership. The building must be zoned to allow the sale of motor vehicles. This form must be notarized as well. Now, you see your dealer surety bond. This page will need to be completed by your bonding company, and perhaps you purchased your bond from an insurance agent. This bond must be signed, and you must include the power of attorney from the bonding company as well. Now, that might be the bonding company or the insurance agency, because you can, like I said earlier, you can get a bond from either an insurance agency or a specialized bonding company as well. So don't forget, you're going to have to submit the signed bond and your power of attorney. Don't forget, both docs, signed bond and the power of attorney that is given to you by your bonding agent, which would probably be your insurance agent or the person that works for the bonding company. So both of those documents must be submitted with your dealer license application. And as it says at the bottom of this form, the dealer surety bond may never expire while your dealer license is in effect. All dealers must be bonded during the entire licensure period. You can never, ever let your bond expire if you have an active dealer's license. All Georgia dealers are required to be bonded. I want to remind you, you can download all the forms that we use in your dealer training course, including this dealer application that we're going over right now, just by visiting georgiadealer.com. Scroll down on any page, and you can click on the Georgia Dealer Forms link like you see here. Then just click on the Georgia Dealer Application link to download that dealer application that we just completed. We're always going to do our very best to keep all these links on the website current, so you will always be downloading the latest updated forms that can be used. Here you see the screenshot shows you the current dealer licensing fees. And at the time this video is being filmed, the initial application fee is $170. So if you're opening an additional lot, it's also $170. When you're renewing your dealer's license, the renewal fee is $150. I want you to be aware, if you renew your license after it expires, but before May 31st of an even year, you'll pay $250. If you renew your license after it expires and on May 31st, it will be administratively revoked and it will require a $420 reinstatement fee. Okay, so if you basically ever let your license completely expire, then you are possibly looking at a $420 reinstatement fee. So always be sure you submit your dealer license renewal before it expires on March 31st of even years. Otherwise, you will pay additional fees to renew your license. So you want to make sure you have completed your 6 hours of continuing education when you renew your license. As a reminder, you have to do your 4 hours of pre-license training before you can apply for your dealer's license the first time. But when you're renewing that license, you must complete your 6 hours of continuing education in order to renew your license in a timely manner once it comes time to renew. Next, I want to show you your dealer plate order form. This form is known as Form MV-6, and you must complete it to order dealer license plates. And by the way, we have a whole section on how to legally use your dealer license plates later in the course because the board does have strict regulations that you have to follow when it comes to dealer license plate usage. Let's go ahead and magnify this form so you can see it a little bit easier. Once again, this is your dealer license plate order form. Obviously, you're going to enter your business name, what you are doing business as. Remember, that's your DBA, your email address, and your full legal name and business address. And then you're going to enter your Georgia tax ID number, your business or occupation license number. Remember, that's obtained from your city or your county that your dealership's in. And then you see here, it asks for your Georgia used motor vehicle dealer or parts dealer number. Well, if you're submitting your dealer's license application for the first time, you obviously do not yet have a dealer number. So in that case, you would just leave that section blank because you do not have a dealer number. However, let's say you apply for your dealer license and then apply for the dealer plates later on, and you have a dealer license number, then obviously you would enter your dealer license number here, or sometimes we call that your UCAR. If you're a used dealer number, it starts with UCAR. So sometimes we'll call that your UCAR number. And if you are a dealer of manufactured homes, you will need your fire marshal number, which is probably not going to apply to most persons that are watching this video. But if you're selling manufactured homes, then you also have to have a fire marshal number. You're going to enter your contact person's name and phone number. And before we move on here, you see, these are the dealer license plates fees. And as you see, your main dealer license plate, which is often referred to as your master plate, costs $62, and any additional plates will cost $12. And at the bottom of the screen, you see the mailing fees for the dealer license plates that is based on the number of plates that you are ordering. On this portion of the dealer plate order form, you will select what type of dealer license plates you're ordering. So let's say for this training scenario that you are ordering a full-size dealer plate, or you could select motorcycle plate for motorcycles or other plates. You will then check the type of dealer license you are applying for. And most of you are applying for an independent dealer's license, which would allow the sale of used motor vehicles. Then check what type of dealership you will be. You'll enter, maybe you're going to be an auto auction company. Well, or if you're a dealer only auction or an auto broker. Remember, auto brokers must have a used motor vehicle dealer license, or a retail dealer or a wholesale dealer. So let's say you're going to be a retail dealer for this training scenario. And at the bottom of this dealer plate order form, you're going to enter any additional plates. And the really cool thing about this Form MV-6 is that it will automatically calculate the fees based on the number of dealer plates that you are ordering. So you cannot make mistakes when calculating the additional dealer license plate fees and their mailing fees. So it automatically computes those fees when you're filling out this PDF. Finally, you're going to need to read and agree to the terms and print your name, sign your name, and date Form MV-6. Here you see the back of Form MV-6. You're going to see instructions. So if you have any questions about how to complete the form, just read the back of the page, and that form has extensive instructions as well. Once again, you can easily download your Form MV-6. That's your dealer plate order form at the GeorgiaDealer.com website. And you'll just scroll down and click on dealer license forms. And here, once again, you'll be able to download those forms. Now on the screen, you're going to see your document checklist. And we will go over that extensively at the end of your training course. And there's also that list that's going to be in the manual that's in your course. This ensures that you're enclosing all required documents. So your dealer application will hopefully be approved as soon as possible. You want to make sure you're not missing any of these documents, okay? Because you have to make sure you've completed all the steps in a correct manner. Then you're going to apply for your license. If you skip any of these steps, you will not get your dealer's license. So that's kind of part of the gig here. You just have to make sure that you complete all the steps we've discussed. And once you have completed all those steps, then you can either mail those documents in or you can drop them off. Okay, if you're dropping off your application packet, when I say the application packet, that's a great big envelope that you've put all the required documentation in. If you want to drop it off, then you can drop it off at the DOR Motor Vehicle Division. Just put attention business registration unit. And you're probably aware of this. If you're in Atlanta, the Atlanta area, it's going to be 4125 Welcome All Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30349. Or, you know, if you're in Atlanta or even in another part of the state and you don't want to drive down to do that, then you can mail it in. So, but I'm going to recommend, that's a lot of documentation in that envelope. So to ensure that it's not returned, you want to put 2 or 3 stamps on that big envelope that contains all your paperwork, and you're going to mail it to DOR/Motor Vehicle Division, Attention Business Registration Unit, and that's going to go to P.O. Box 740381, Atlanta, Georgia, 30374-0381. Did you get all that? All that's in the manual that you either get at your course or maybe you've already taken the course. It'll be provided in your course for you to reference after the course. So once you have submitted your dealer license application packet, you can check your dealer license application status. So you can find out the status of your license application. So you can just go to GeorgiaDealer.com and go to the Georgia Dealer Forms link and go down and click on Check Dealer License Application Status. That's that link that you see right there on your screen. Go to Georgia Dealer, go to the Georgia Dealer Forms, and then just click on Check Dealer License Application Status, and you will be taken to a page where you can enter your last name, your social security number, a PIN number if you've received a PIN. You do not have to have a PIN number. If you do, it's okay, but you can find out that information even if you don't have a PIN. You would just have to enter your last name and your social security number, and you will easily be able to find out your dealer license application status, such as if there was perhaps a problem with your application, it'll be listed here, or hopefully it will state application approved and your dealer license could be on its way. And if that's the case, hey, then congratulations. Then you're going to have your license here in a very short manner. You definitely need to be aware, as I've stated earlier, of dealer licensing periods. Used motor vehicle dealer licenses are valid for 2 years. All dealer licenses expire on March 31st of even years. I want to make sure you're really aware of this. All dealer licenses expire on March 31st of even years, okay? So do please keep that in mind. You must renew your license before March 31st of even years, or you will pay those additional fees when applying for your dealer license that we just discussed just a few moments ago, okay? Remember, you must complete continuing education and all other renewal requirements by that date in order to maintain your dealer license in good standing. When you are applying for your license for the first time, the initial license that is issued by the board may be valid for a shorter period of time depending on when your license was issued. So let's say, for example, your license is going to expire on March 31st of an even year, and maybe you applied for your license in June of an odd year. Your license will not be for 2 years. It will expire on March 31st of the even year. So, it's going to be valid for a shorter period of time when you're first applying for your license, but once you've been licensed, it will always be good for 2 years. Remember, all dealer licenses expire on March 31st of even years. Here's some great contact information for you again. If you have any questions, regarding dealer licensing, maybe you are getting your license for the first time, maybe you've just gotten your license, maybe you've been a licensed dealer for 20 years, In this industry, I always want to make sure that you're aware there is absolutely no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. Dealers have unlimited resources. You can call 844-753-7825. Once again, that's 844-753-7825. Or you can send an email to business.registration@dor.ga.gov. And I've used that email several times, and they're going to respond usually within a few minutes or usually no longer than an hour on a regular working day. You can also visit the board's website. That's sos.ga.plb.usecar. Once again, that's sos.ga.plb.usecar. Or you can go to your favorite search engine and type in Georgia Dealer Board, for example, and that'll take you straight there, okay? I also just want to give you that quick reminder several times during the course, okay? Georgia law requires all dealer licenses, all sales tax licenses, and all business licenses to be displayed prominently. You've worked very hard for those licenses. You're proud of them when you get them. You don't want to lock them in some desk drawer or a vault or something like that. You need to display them prominently. So always prominently display your dealer license, your sales tax license, and your local business license. I want you to be aware that you can watch these training videos before or after your dealer training course at any time just by going to georgiadealer.com. Once again, that is georgiadealer.com, and just click on the videos link at the top of any page to view any training content that you see in this video at any time.